To the compaction, we have studied batching, mixing, transporting, and placing. So in all these four conditions, the concrete should be mixed in a homogeneous condition, and also concrete should not lose its homogeneity. Whereas in the compaction, which is one of the important site operations, which makes the fresh concrete to reach to its full potential strength, along with the strength, density, and with the low permeability. So compaction is one such process of concrete where the homogeneous mixture of concrete in the fresh state can be made strong enough in the hardened state. That is, by means of a good compaction we can make the concrete which is which is in homogeneous condition in a fresh state. We can convert that homogeneous concrete into a good strong hardened concrete by means of a compaction. So what we'll be doing in compaction? So compaction is nothing but it is a process that removes the entrapped air from the freshly placed concrete. So here in the compaction we are removing the air which is entrapped from the freshly mixed concrete. So how these air has got entrapped in the concrete? So in the process of mixing, transporting, and while placing the concrete, so the air is likely to get entered in the concrete. So in the process of compaction we are removing the air which has entrapped in the concrete. So if we don't remove this air which has entrapped, if we don't remove that air in the compaction method, then it leads to a lot of problem when the concrete get hardens. Okay, so if the concrete has not compacted, then it leads to honeycombing, and if the air has got entrapped in the concrete, then its strength will be decreased, and also it affects the durability aspects also. So if the compaction significantly increases the ultimate strength of the concrete, and it enhances the bond with the reinforcement. So compaction, if we do the compaction for the concrete, then its ultimate strength will be increased, and also it will develop a good bond between the concrete as well as with the reinforcement. So here, lower the workability, higher will be the amount of air entrapped. So in a concrete, if the workability or if the water cement ratio is low, then the amount of air as entrapped in those concrete will be on the higher side. That is, if the stiff concrete mix has a higher percentage of concrete, then we have to put lot of effort. That means we have to compact it more to get the stiff mix into a workable mix. We have to put lot of effort while compacting. So concrete shall be compacted during placing, so that the concrete will get a monolithic mass between all the ends of the member. So concrete will get a good homogeneous mass. So that's why we need to compact it when the concrete is placed. And also formwork is completely filled to the intended level. So here, as you all know, while compacting, we will not compact all the concrete at a single stretch. We will compact the concrete in the layers. So the formwork will be filled with certain layers till its final point. The concrete will be filled in certain layers. When the concrete is filled at certain layers, at each layer we have to do the compaction. So at every layer of concrete we have to remove the air which has entrapped. Then all the reinforcement are completely surrounded with the concrete. So as you all know, when you are placing a concrete inside the formwork, there will be a reinforcement too. So all the reinforcement will be completely surrounded with the concrete. And also the required properties of the required hardened property can be achieved when we do the compaction. So you can see in the picture that in the picture you can see percentage loss in strength versus percentage air voids. You can see in the picture that for a 5% air voids in the concrete, so if there is 5% air voids in the concrete, then it reduces the strength by 30%. Similarly, in a concrete you have if you have 10% of air voids, then it reduces the strength by 50%. So that's why we should compact the concrete to its full extent, so that 100% compaction we should able to achieve. 100% compaction means zero air voids, so there should be zero air voids in our concrete, so that we can able to achieve the strength by 100%. So if we don't expel this air, or if we don't remove this air, then it will result in the honeycombing, and the strength, the reduction, there will be reduction in the strength also. And also, uh, if there is a, if we have not compacted well, if the concrete is not compacted well, then the surface will result in a honeycombing surface. So this honeycombing surface will have lot of air voids. You have seen a picture of honeycombing surface, so it will be having lot of air voids. So if any chemicals enters those air voids, or if the water get entered those if the water enters through that air voids, then the reinforcement which is there inside the concrete will be affected. That means the durability uh, aspects will be the durability aspect will be very bad in those concrete. So that's why we have to do the 100% compaction there, so such that there is no honeycombing. So if there is honeycombing, if water or chemical get enters in through that air void into that through that voids, then if uh, it will so that the reinforcement which is there inside the concrete will get corroded. So once the reinforcement get corroded, its strength will be minimized, and also it affects the durability also. So therefore there should be a 100% compaction. So we should keep in our mind that there should be 100% compaction is very important, and also we should get 100% compaction at the site also. So insufficient compaction increases the permeability of the concrete. So if you have not compacted well, then it increases the permeability. That means it creates a lot of voids. So this results in the entry for the chemicals, as already told. This results in entry for the chemicals which attack the concrete and the reinforcement, so that the durability will be affected, will be reduced. So in order to achieve full compaction, it is necessary that the concrete mix should have adequate workability. So if the concrete mix have adequate workability, then with the minimum compaction effort, with the minimum time, then we can able to achieve 100% compaction. If the concrete mix is highly workable, then we cannot able then even if we compact for certain amount of time, then water gain will be there at the top, that causes bleeding. So you know what are the problems that occurs through the bleeding. Similarly, if the concrete is not workable, if the concrete is too dry, or if it is stiff, then we have to put lot of effort. That means we have to put a lot of time to compact, to convert that dry mix or stiff mix to a good workable mix. We have to put lot of time, but that means we have to put lot of effort while compacting. So that leads to sometimes honeycombing structure, honeycombing surface also. So that's why in order to achieve 100% compaction, the concrete mix should have a adequate workability. Even the mix should not be too wet for easy compaction. So if the mix is too wet, the compaction will be very easy. You can, with the minimum effort only we can compact it. But if the mix is too wet, then inversely proportional, if water content is more, then the strength also will get reduces. So before compacting, we should make sure that the concrete should have a adequate workability, so that with the minimum effort we can able to achieve full compaction.
Compaction of concrete. After the concrete is placed in the required location, it should be sufficiently compacted. First of all, what is compaction of concrete? Compaction of concrete is the process done for removing the entrapped air from the concrete. In the previous process of concrete production, such as mixing, transporting and placing of concrete, certain amount air is likely to get entrapped in it. The higher amount of entrapped air in the concrete, the lower would be its workability. If this entrapped air is not removed completely, there will be considerable losses in the strength of concrete. The graph shows the relationship between loss of strength and presence of air voids in the concrete. It is clear from the graph that even presence of 5% voids reduces the strength of concrete by about 30%. Thus, it is important to achieve 100% compaction to attain the required strength and durability. Besides, insufficient compaction also results in the penetration of aggressive chemicals into concrete which reacts with the concrete and reinforcement, thereby reducing the durability of concrete. To achieve full compaction, the concrete must be sufficiently wet while mixing of concrete. However, too wet for easy compaction results in a reduction of strength in concrete. There are various methods of compaction employed at the site, namely hand.
So there are different methods of concrete compaction. So based on the uh, necessity of the work, we can use these different methods. So one is by hand compaction, and the second is by means of a machine operation. So in hand compaction, there are three types: rodding, ramming, and tamping. In the machine operated compaction, we have internal vibrator, we have formwork vibrator, table vibrator, platform vibrator, and surface vibrator. And along with this, we'll also study the compaction for the two special cases. So first, we'll go for hand compaction. So hand compaction is used for ordinary and unimportant work of smaller magnitude. So this hand compaction can be adopted in such cases where the concrete work is of small scale, or if it is not much important, then we can go for a hand compaction to remove the entrapped air. And this method is also used when the reinforcement quantity is quite large, and if you cannot able to compact by means of a machine, then we can go for a hand compaction also at that situation. But if you are doing hand compaction, then there should be sufficient workability. So if there is a dry mix, or if the mix is stiff, then you cannot do the hand compaction, because there will be no much water content in those kind of mixes. So here, if you are doing by hand compaction, then there should be sufficient workability, so that if you can easily compact it. So workability should be decided in such a way that the chances of honeycombing should be minimum. If you find that we cannot compact by means of a machine, then if you think that we have to do hand compaction, then we should make sure that there, while doing hand compaction, there should not be getting any chances of honeycombing surface. So there should be adequate workability, so that there is less chances of getting the honeycombing surface. And also, the thickness of layer of concrete is limited to 15 to 20 centimeter. So as I already told, the concrete is usually placed in layers, so each layer should be minimum of 15 centimeter to 20 centimeter. So first hand compaction is rodding. You can see the picture, most of you have done this in the laboratory too. So rodding is a method of poking with 2 meter length rod and 16 dia. The diameter of that rod is 16 dia. So these are used to effectively pack the concrete, so to drive away the entrapped air. So this kind of rodding is done so sufficiently, it has to cover the complete area of the concrete mold. While you are rodding by means of a rod, you have to cover the entire area, so that the concrete should effectively pack so that we can able to drive away the entrapped air which is there in the concrete. So as already told, the layers of for rodding is 15 centimeter to 20 centimeter. So if in case if there is no steel if there is no iron rod for rodding purpose, then you can use bamboo also. Bamboo is also used for rodding purpose if there is no iron rod. Next is ramming. So ramming should be done with sufficient care, because ramming has to be done either in the ground surface, that is for the foundation concrete, that is unreinforced foundation concrete. So ramming has to be adopted where in the foundation concrete where there is no reinforcement, or in the ground floor construction. Ramming should not be used in the RCC or in the upper floor construction, because when you're doing a ramming in the upper floor construction, especially in the reinforced concrete where there will be a reinforcement, if you if you ram the concrete by means of a rammer, then the reinforcement may disturb, or even the formwork may fail, okay, because we'll be putting some effort while ramming the concrete. So if it is over the reinforcement, because the reinforcement is will be covered by formwork will be supported by the struts, okay, especially for RCC slab construction. So reinforcement covered by the formwork, and formwork will be supported by the struts. So when you ram the concrete from top, so the reinforcement may get disturbed and the formwork may fail also. That's why we should use the rammer only for the unreinforced foundation concrete or in the upper floor construction. So next is the tamping. So tamping is one of the usual methods adopted to compact roof or floor slab on also in the road pavements. You most of you might have seen this. So tamping is one of the usual methods which can be done for RCC roof slab and floor, as well as in the road pavements where the thickness of concrete is less. So less means, say example for RCC slab and for the road construction. So the thickness will be around 100 to 150. So there you can use the tamping apparatus, so that you can use it for both RCC as well as for the road construction. So usually in a tamper, the length the rod will be of sufficient length, and also you have a rectangle uh, cross section at the bottom, so it will be of 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter. Since the tamping has a quite sufficient length, so it can be used for both compacting as well as for leveling. Since the tamping has a certain length of the tamping will is it has more, so while compacting, you can compact it, at the same time you can level it also. And it is mainly used for, as I already told, for roof slabs and road pavements. So I have a small video related to hand compaction.
Hand compaction of concrete. Hand compaction of concrete is generally adopted for small concreting works and unimportant works. Sometimes this method is also used where a large quantity of reinforcement is used, which cannot be normally compacted by mechanical instruments. When hand compaction is to be adopted, the consistency of concrete should be maintained at a higher level. The thickness of the concrete layer is maintained between 15 to 20 centimeters. Hand compaction is done by rodding, ramming, or tamping. Rodding is poking of concrete with rod of length up to 2 meters and 16 millimeters diameter to pack the concrete between the reinforcement and formwork. Rodding is continuously done over the complete area to effectively pack the concrete and expel the entrapped air. Occasionally, instead of the iron rod, bamboos or cane is also used for rodding purpose. The next type of hand compaction is ramming. Ramming of concrete should be done with sufficient care. Ramming is commonly done for unreinforced foundation concrete or in ground floor construction. Ramming should not be done in place of reinforced concrete or in the upper floor construction. That is, concrete is placed in the formwork supported on struts. If ramming is done in above-mentioned cases, reinforcement present may be disturbed or the formwork may fail. The other method of hand compaction is tamping. Tamping is the usual methods adopted for compacting the roof or floor slab or road pavements where the concrete thickness is less and the surface to be finished smooth and leveled. Tamping is done by beating the top surface by a wooden beam of suitable size. Since the tamping bar is long, it not just compacts the concrete, but also levels the surface across the entire width. That's all about hand compaction of concrete.
So that's all about the hand compaction of concrete. So there are three different methods. I hope you all understood. So in the next video, we'll be studying about the machine compaction. Thank you.